Joe Diamita here, TTRP TV in Plashett Community Workshop, and I'm talking with my friend Mark, who's right here. Hey Mark.
Hey Joe.
How's it going?
Good.
We're in your lovely workshop, which is quite full of blades and table saws. And tell me a little about this project, the Plashett Community Workshop. What's the idea behind it all?
Okay, so our idea is to try to encourage people to learn woodland skills and craft skills right next to a sustainably managed woodland, using the material directly from that woodland. And we're starting by building the building that we're going to be doing the teaching in.
And where's that?
That's just right over here.
Let's go. Oh, look at this day. So we're in Sussex, in the southeast of England, on a beautiful sunny day, nice winter's day. And Mark is taking us on a little tour of this beautiful estate. So explain the estate to me. This is owned by?
This is owned by the Askew Charitable Trust. It's mostly woodland, about 400 acres of primarily oak woodland and farmland, and it is effectively a biodiversity project. So there's a lot of conservation work going on. It's in the stewardship scheme, which is a sustainable form of land management and forestry management. So lots of new diversity, lots of rare species in the woodland, also a working wood, so there's a lot of timber coming out as well.
Right, and you were explaining to me before about the coppicing and making it more sustainable. So talk me through that again, about the modern way they do it and the way they used to do it, which you're trying to get back to with the woods. How
so
some sticks, as you call them.
Many sticks, yes. Well, the way that the modern world works in a lot of ways is mass production, industrialization of processing, like with farming and making things. It's the same with woodland. It's all about quantities and processing. So with woodland management, a lot of it is about thinning the trees to make the woodland more healthy. Some of those trees are big trees and they're commercially sellable, so you can make money. Others need to be thinned anyway, but nobody wants to buy them just because the processing costs are too high. There's nothing wrong with the material, but the market just doesn't work anymore with this form of management. So we're trying to recreate the traditional ways of woodland management and use by revisiting this material and making things from it.
All right, and you were saying about the before you said something about the size, you were explaining like the diameter.
So with you'll see some trees up on the yard up here. Really, if you have a nice straight oak tree about this wide, nice and straight, no knots, you can sell that to anybody. That's very usable for today's uses with mass production and processing. Whereas we end up with a fairly amount of bendy, slightly knotty, smaller size. Takes more work, but you also can use it perfectly well to make things. We're building our building with that kind of timber.
Is that down that way?
Which is further down here.
Can we take a walk down there?
We can take a walk and have a look at what we've been doing.
Yeah.
We're part way through building it.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. And next spring we'll be running some more courses to build the rest of the oak frame, and then continuing on using more timber from the wood for the softwood outside and the skin and the roof, which will be phase 2 of the build.
So you're doing courses. So you're teaching how that course work. What do you do there?
So what we have is 2 people who designed the building, John Russell and Rebecca. They're both traditional timber framers, and they've been teaching our first course in August. We had about 10 of us on the course. traditional techniques, history, visits to historic sites around the area to show what's called the vernacular use of timber.
Okay, explain that a little.
So the vernacular is a lot of the buildings that were not high status buildings, like barns, cottages, small houses. And when you look at how they're built, they use very small diameter timber, whatever was available at the time. Probably what would be seen now as firewood.
Yeah, so you're saying a lot of it would be used for firewood and then, just not be seen as viable. So
Yeah.
why is that then?
Well, I think it was just a different form of looking at things. So really, people used to work the wood and they'd use every piece of timber they found, rather than mostly now a lot of it is seen as waste and just gets burnt on a fire or
Yeah.
a wood burner. And it always seems a bit of a shame, really, when you think about sustainability and resources, that we should be seeing most of it as waste, because a lot of this timber that's coming out of here, the smaller diameter stuff, just isn't being used for the purpose that it could be.
Right.
So our plan is to build our new workshop with the smaller diameter timber, which is currently not seen as commercially viable, and showcase it as an idea, really,
Right.
to show a different approach.
And this building here?
This is the part of the old sawmills. This is their office, Victorian building, and the original sawmill right behind, which closed in the 1950s.
And why was that? Why did everything close in the 50s?
Well, there were a lot of changes happening after the war, rebuilding the country, and forestry policy changed quite a lot. A lot of deciduous forests were being cleared for coniferous plantations for the paper industry, because that was seen as going to be a huge industry, and it was for a good while. But now, as we see, those coniferous forests are being cut down and replanted with a deciduous forest because of the biodiversity value, because coniferous monocultures are virtually dead. There's nothing lives in them. Very dark, they acidify the soil anyway, and it goes on.
Right.
So again, forestry policy has changed again, and now we're coming back to the traditional ways of managing woodland again,
Right.
which is an interesting take, because what value does it have in the modern world? Well, I believe that it still has a value.
Let's see this. So here's the sawmill. The future sawmill.
Yeah, well, this will be our forestry workshop. So, an oak frame workshop. These are 2 tie beams that have been cut from some of the timber I was talking about, which is small diameter, quite bendy, as you can see. It's been shaped with an axe to make
Shaped
the
with an
shape.
axe.
It's all been axed on the sides. You
Okay.
can see the axe marks along the sides, called hewing. So we did our first course last August with a group and with teachers who are timber framers. What that's called now dressed timber. And these 2 timbers are going to be part of the building going across here. This timber would normally just be seen as firewood.
Right.
And no one wants oak firewood either, because it takes 2 to 3 years to season. Obviously, again, it's storage, processing.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Right.
So it's not even used as firewood anymore. So a lot of the timber is left in the wood. That's very good for habitat, but there's so much of it.
Right.
It's way too much. I mean,
Right.
It'd be much better to use it for something useful. So we're building our building from it. It's obviously quite interesting shapes. We've got some really curved pieces that are going to be the arches up in the roof. We're showcasing the use of the timber and how things used to be built by hand, detailed, nice human touch to
Right.
things. And also the time. It takes a lot longer, but our idea is to try and show that by learning your hand skills and getting your connection with the material, that is a good foundation for your skills.
Right.
And my particular angle is young people and their training. And
Yes.
I think that's a very good start. If you're interested in making things, you like timber, this is our medium timber. If you like that idea, that's a very good start. And then you can move on to your machines later.
Right.
As a time saver. Machines are for time saving.
Yes. And look at this beautiful, this is the supply house. I mean, these trees are absolutely wonderful. We're in this beautiful woodland. Beautiful woodland. So you were saying about coppicing.
Yes.
And so how does coppicing save a woodland or make it more dynamic and useful with biodiversity?
Well, it's been shown that a working woodland, coppice woodland, has 60% higher biodiversity than a neglected one.
Wow.
And this is to do with shading and different habitat environments joining one another. And that also creates more health for the woodland. More air, more light, and also material for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because almost all woodlands are actually planted, even ones that are designated ancient.
Right.
So they require human management, but they require a particular kind of management, in my view, which actually is a caretaking method. Looks after the soil, helps with biodiversity and works with nature. You can still produce lots of timber, lots of material at the same time as working with your environment.
Right, right. And that's teaching, your courses here for young people, and is it just people from the area?
All people.
Right.
I mean, my particular focus is training for young people, because I think, as we know, there's a big skill shortage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a need.
Yeah, a
For
big
a new
need.
generation of
Right. 'cause
practical people who have creative ideas and who can gain a lot of confidence from making things.
Right. Yeah. And
That's
like
what I did myself.
well, and that's what we were talking about. We were talking about like AI and looking at. We see lots of lost skills, and like I know people who are losing jobs as translators, and just many graphic designers, whatever. Lots of stuff being lost. But then technology has, like you said, machinery, technology all has a good side as well, and it's just finding that balance.
Yes, it is.
And how do you find like the young people who come and they work and they see these woodlands, and you go from taking the tree down to milling it, to sawmilling it, to then planing it, and then turning it into furniture. Is it so sad? Is it satisfying?
Of course, yeah. And I think you see the whole process. You can see where everything's coming from. You can connect everything together. It starts to make more sense. And I think as humans, we want to have answers to things. We want to feel connected to things. We want to have some meaning, whatever that is, in life.
Yeah.
And I found out by making things in the first place. I got introduced to it almost by chance, really.
And how was that?
Through working with a sculptor. I started working on a project which was one of the first cycle trails in the country.
Oh, cool.
The Cookie Trail, which is just down the road. And I was there with my feet in the mud, digging post holes and things like that. And the sculptor was commissioned to make a lot of big benches along the trail out of a lot of the fallen timber from the storms in 1987. And he wanted some assistance with that, so luckily for me I decided to say yes, and I'll give you a hand, and it switched me on.
Wow,
to
cool.
my creativity.
Well, and now
so
we're going to
felt I had.
Yeah, and now I'm going to pause it here for a minute. We're going to go back to the back of the workshop and take a look what that looks like. Oh, look at that! That is beauty in itself. So, quickly, Mark, the comes from the woodland.
Yeah.
And
so from there, our legendary Mike, who does all the forestry work, brings all the trees straight over here from the wood, piles them all up. Then Nick, our other legend, with his wood miser, wheels it in, and we just sawmill all the boards, and we took them all off one by one. Each board, 2 of us, 7 tons of timber, 3 days.
Holy smokes.
And we're still standing. But yeah, so it's just a question of systems. So this is some of the timber from the wood. Some of this is like the small diameter timber I was talking about.
Right.
This is a bit better quality, so we paid proper money for this. But this sort of size stuff normally wouldn't really be seen as viable, and would probably just end up lying in the wood.
Right.
For habitat, which is all fine, but not all of it, because there's so much of it that it would just clog up the whole place. So we're feeling like we should be able to use this material. There's nothing wrong with it. We just got to look at it in a slightly different way and really think about a materials-led process rather than a design-led process. So you get hold of your material and then you decide what you do with it.
Right.
And that's a little bit more creative and takes a little bit more time.
Yeah,
just a different way.
And this is the supply house. This is it.
This is it.
And it all comes down here, and this is going to turn into furniture. It's going to turn into
joinery.
What else? Yeah.
Doors, windows, all sorts of
Perfect.
useful stuff for houses.
Well, I know we're staying.
For buildings.
We're staying in Mark's house, and his house is full of this beautiful furniture made from this wood. And coming from this workshop, teaching young people how to do it. I mean, it's just kind of amazing. It's just so lovely what you spoke about before, and we've been having unfortunately technical problems. I'm going to see if I can find some of our conversations. It might be lost in there, but and just the way you say that it's teaching people to reconnect with nature and not get into camps of like,
absolutely,
this is absolutely bad, this is absolutely good. So you feel you're teaching a little bit of everything.
I feel like that's the idea, is to see our land and our woodlands, particularly for us, as a resource in a different way, and start to work with nature at the same time as getting our materials directly from our local environment. Obviously a lot less diesel miles, a lot less impact,
right,
generally, and also then creating a better environment at the same time. So actually leaving a more positive mark on your environment.
On your environment, and
at the same time as getting a lot of lovely material to make things with.
Right, and teaching young people to reconnect with nature.
Yes, and it's a nice route in, because you're doing something practical to focus on.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a nice way of connecting all of those different aspects together.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, and we've spoken about it too many times today because we had a few times, but and that just brings a brighter future. It just makes the future look so much brighter when we look at it like that. We don't have
there are possibilities.
That there are possibilities. That we could work with nature and make furniture and build houses and do it more sustainably. That actually gives back to the nature. And it gives to the people.
Actually leaves a more positive imprint than when you arrive.
Yeah.
And that's always a nice thing to do, because humans have got a bit of a bad rep at the moment.
Right.
For creating a lot of destruction, pollution, all of these very negative things.
Right.
And actually we can do positive things.
And we have done.
Yeah. And woodlands have always been managed by people. Yeah. To create more biodiversity.
Right.
If they're not managed by people, you get less biodiversity.
Yeah.
So we are directly connected with it.
Right.
We are part of that cycle.
Yeah.
We're not separate.
No. And that's those are the wise words. That we're not separate. We're part of that nature, and you're helping to bring that into people, rather than throw away furniture and throw away houses, and even the whole thing we spoke about on the way here, driving through these maybe unsustainable looking estates that are being built and slammed up, and that the houses the last 10 years, and some of the land down here, people might get into the camp, the whole system of lords and heritage and all that is crazy. And as an American and maybe as a British person, you might agree with that in many ways, but
it also, you can understand it.
And it protects the land in many ways.
In some ways it does, because there's a certain kind of guardianship of the land, which goes with the culture.
And because it's not always...
And it does, for us, it allows us to do a project like this.
Yeah.
Which is a really positive thing, and is really hard to do. It's hard to do projects like this. Because obviously having a resource like this woodland at your disposal is just a very special thing.
Yeah.
And very unusual for the charitable trust, to really understand what we're trying to do here and showcase a different sort of way of doing things. Really. So that this is another possibility, another alternative to what's going on around us. Which sometimes makes us feel a bit powerless and a bit at sea, and we don't quite know what's happening. But actually, we can do some positive things. Slowing down, getting small. It's all small scale. And see where it goes from there.
Cool. Yeah, well,
From small acorns, mighty oaks grow.
mighty oaks grown. Man, we've seen some beautiful mighty oaks.
Indeed.
Again, let's tell us about that website.
Yeah, so it's plashettcommunityworkshop.co.uk.
Okay, Plashett, PLASHETT.co.uk.
Yeah,
Community
that's us.
workshop. And that'll be online soon.
That'll be
up
online
and running soon.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we can follow Mark's projects, and hopefully we'll come back next year and see that sawmill when it has the roof over it and everything's
Yeah, and
up
we'll
and
be
going.
having our frame up and we'll have our new workshop. That'll be
Very, very
great.
cool.
It's quite exciting.
All right, my friend Mark Dascoli over here from Sussex, down here on the southeast border, right near the Downs, right near the Channel, with a beautiful part of the world and a beautiful winter's day to celebrate this biodiversity, this beauty that Mark is helping to sustain and to teach others, future generations, to do the same. Joe Diamini, TTRP TV, coming at you with a wonderful feeling after walking through these woods and having Mark just enlighten me on this beautiful project. And until next time, everyone out there, be well.